In a burning building, firefighter Hong attempts to climb up to rescue people. Unfortunately, the rope he was using caught fire, causing him to fall hard to the ground with nothing to break his fall. He saw his entire life flash before his eyes. When he woke up, he went to check on the girl he was trying to save, but was shocked to find that no one could see or hear him. Suddenly, he heard a voice calling his name from afar. He saw a young man and woman in formal attire, smiling at him. Their names were Mac and Sean, and they were guardians who would assist him through the stages of judgment. No one else could see them. Hong tried to signal them to move away from the fire, but then he saw firefighters around his lifeless body on the ground. Sean approached him and told him that this was his body, that he had indeed died, and that his time for judgment had come. They were there to help him through the 7 stages of trials. Hong couldn't comprehend what he was hearing and stepped back in shock, deeply saddened by the fact that he had died without seeing his sick mother. His body began to disappear into the air, being pulled towards a large entrance as he screamed that he needed to see his mother. The guardians were deeply moved by this. He then arrived with thousands of people from different places heading towards the gates of judgment. Hong met his guardian leader named Ren, who had helped many souls through the judgment phase. Ren approached Hong and congratulated him for being a good person, but Hong showed no interest due to the shock, and Ren continued on his way. They reached the gate of judgment to begin the first phase, then moved to a terrifying place filled with lava called the Mountain of Murder. Ren was shocked and asked Hong if he had ever killed anyone in his life, to which Hong replied no. Ren warned him to be careful, as he was a firefighter, and if anyone had died because of his actions, he would be judged, and that person could be the reason he was there. They arrived at a place with large gates in the ground that opened to reveal pits filled with fire. Hong saw people being punished, trying to escape the flames but unable to, continuously burning. The judges accused Hong of neglecting a colleague at work, failing to save him, and leaving him to die. As a result, his punishment was to remain in the fire pit for 5 years to atone for his sin of not saving his colleague. Ren defended him and requested a thorough examination of that day. The judges reviewed the situation and found that Hong had tried to save his colleague but couldn't move the stone trapping him. His colleague then asked Hong to leave him and save others. By doing so, Hong managed to rescue 8 people from the fire. Ren argued that Hong's actions were truly heroic and should be considered. When the fire judge saw Hong's heroic deeds and his help to others, he declared him innocent and allowed him to proceed to the next trial. Hong, deep in thought, asked why the guardians were trying to help him. They explained that they had made a pact with the king of hell, Yamra, that if they could help a significant number of dead souls pass the trial safely, he would release them and allow them to return to life. They then arrived at a court called Andalons, which judges people who were lazy in their lives and did not engage in useful work. Shun began to explain everything Hong had done, emphasizing that he had always helped people regardless of the reason. She mentioned that although he once disturbed a beehive, causing harm to his colleagues, he later tried to help them. He also attempted to save a cat standing on the edge of a building, which led to him falling and damaging a Lamborghini, but it was unintentional. The judge acquitted him because he had risked his life to save the cat. The judge then asked him why he was alive and what his goal was. He replied that his goal was money. Upon hearing this, the judge was shocked and sentenced him to punishment. He saw large machines punishing the lazy by breaking their bones and then throwing them to the fish. The guardians pleaded with the judge to re-examine his life, explaining that he worked hard and neglected his health to secure money for his sick mother and his brother who was trying to get into university. After learning the truth and being moved by it, the judge acquitted him, allowing him to pass the second stage safely. After that, they boarded a boat that would take them to the third stage, only to be attacked by strange creatures. They drew their weapons to fight off these creatures and managed to defeat many of them. The boat's captain fell overboard but was still clinging to it, and Mac tried to defend it alone to save his leader. At the last moment, Mac knocked over a pillar to crush the monsters with rocks, allowing them to escape. He told them that such an event could only happen if a family member had died and turned into a vengeful spirit. Ren decided to visit Hong's family to uncover the truth. He discovered that Hong's mother was still alive and that it was his brother, Su, who had died. Ren saw Su's vengeful spirit trying to escape and began chasing it. He attempted to stop the spirit with his weapon, but it managed to evade his attacks and flee. Frustrated by the spirit's escape before he could learn the truth, Ryan was determined to find out the reason behind it. He went to the military base where Su had served and overheard soldiers talking about Su's desertion from the army. However, something still didn't add up for Ren. He disguised himself as a colonel to question the unit commander about Su and accused him of killing Su. The commander, driven by fear, attacked Ren, confirming Ren's suspicion that the commander was responsible for Su's death. Meanwhile, Hong was being interrogated by the judge of deceit and lies, who accused him of writing false letters to the daughter of his deceased friend, pretending to be her father who had died in a fire. The judge immediately ordered Hong to be tied up and have his tongue cut out. Fortunately, Ren was able to communicate with them remotely through thought and defended Hong's actions. It was revealed that Hong had written false letters to his mother about the beauty of his life and his wealth to reassure and make her happy. All his attempts were made with good intentions to bring joy to those he cared about. Seeing this, the judge forgave his actions. Ren, feeling the weight of Hong's situation, lied to him, saying his family was fine, while secretly informing the team about the true state of Hong's family. Ren then traveled back in time to uncover what happened on the day Su died. He discovered that Su's friend, Dong, had accidentally shot him while adjusting the safety on his weapon. Meanwhile, Hong reached the stage of the Hell of Injustice, where he saw people frozen for years because they hadn't helped others. Fortunately, as a firefighter who always help people, Hong was not judged here and passed this stage safely, moving on to the next. While they were in the cable car, a girl told Hong that all the Guardians had their memories erased except for the team leader. Mac tried to stop the girl from revealing team secrets, but he misspoke, and Hong learned that his brother was the vengeful spirit. Enraged, Hong shook the entire place, causing the cable car to break, putting the Guardians on the brink of falling. However, Hong managed to control himself at the last moment and extended his hand to help them. They then arrived at the Hell of Betrayal, where people who had betrayed their loved ones were judged by being confined and surrounded by mirrors to see themselves clearly. Fortunately, Hong had been a good person in his life and had not betrayed anyone, allowing him to pass this trial safely. Meanwhile, Rin managed to locate the vengeful spirit. The spirit was in a disco, attempting to kill one of the people responsible for its death and burial while still alive. The spirit attacked Rin, leading to an aerial battle. Rin managed to capture the spirit using a trick and tied it to a building with his magical rope. He told the spirit that it needed to forgive those who had wronged it, including someone named Dong, so that he could bring it back to life. Otherwise, it would be destroyed forever. However, this only made the spirit remember its death and how its closest friend had betrayed it, making it extremely angry and allowing it to break free. Elsewhere, Dong, who was drunk, was overwhelmed by guilt and decided to tell Sue's mother where her son's body was because he could no longer bear the guilt. He gave her a drawing showing the location of her son, and Sue's vengeful spirit, standing behind his mother, saw everything. After seeing what Dong had done, the spirit asked Rin to act as a mediator so he could speak to his friend Sue one last time, promising to be with him in anything he wanted. Sue, speaking through the spirit, told his friend that he had forgiven him. At the same time, Hong reached the stage of the Hell of Violence, where he saw a large pit he had to jump into to reach the place of judgment. Suddenly, Hong fell into the pit and collided with a large rock, but Mac descended to catch him. Unfortunately, Hong's fall caused them all to tumble to the opposite side. Mac quickly moved towards them and was able to save Shun, just as he used to do when he worked as a firefighter helping others. Surprisingly, they stopped in mid-air at the last moment, just before they were about to die. The trial for violence began, and Hong was accused of hitting his brother in high school, which was particularly bad because his brother was malnourished due to their family's poverty. Sue couldn't forgive his brother for what he had done, and Hong felt so guilty that he decided to leave home the next day. The judge found Hong guilty of committing acts of violence against his family and planned to send him to a pit where people were punished by being stoned. Before the judge could sentence Hong, Shun asked the judge to postpone the judgment until the final trial, as they were connected, and she would give up her right to a second life if Hong was found guilty in the final trial. Unfortunately, the Guardians knew what had happened that day. Sue had woken up at night to find his brother sitting by their mother and wanted to know what he was doing. Sue soon realized that Hong was trying to kill their mother with a pillow and tried to stop him. Hong threw the pillow and started hitting his brother. Hong wanted to do this because he was desperate due to their family's poverty and his mother's severe illness, believing that the only way to end her suffering was through death. This was the reason for his guilt, and he ran away from home and never returned. After the Guardians learned what had happened, they realized they would fail the upcoming trials, especially since the final stage was about filial disobedience. Meanwhile, Run was trying to help Sue find his body so his soul could begin the journey of reincarnation. When he arrived at the camp, he was surprised to see Sue's mother holding a sign, pleading with the soldiers to retrieve her son's body. The unit commander saw her, approached, hit her, tore the paper from her hands, and threw her to the ground, causing her to faint. When Sue saw the commander attacking his mother, he became enraged and couldn't control himself, transforming back into the vengeful spirit. He broke free from his restraints, threw Rin away with all his strength, and unleashed a powerful wave of anger that created a tornado, engulfing all the soldiers in the area. He opened a portal to the other side, and the vengeful spirit began to wreak havoc, but Ryan tried his best to save people from death. Fortunately, Mac managed to enter the living world through the portal. Mac attacked Sue and landed a strong blow, giving Ran the opportunity to capture Sue with the magical rope and put an end to him. Meanwhile, Hong's trial began with the king of hell himself, named Yamra, who accused him of attempting to kill his mother and hitting his brother. He also told him that his mother knew he wanted to kill her but kept silent and bore this sorrow within her, and for that, his punishment would be extended indefinitely. The judge declared that he would punish Hong with the harshest penalty possible for trying to kill the person who gave him life, his mother. The ground began to shake as a voice tried to speak to Hong, revealing that Rion had allowed Sue to communicate with their mother in a dream. Sue apologized for his brother and told their mother that after Hong left, he worked for 15 years to support them because he felt immense guilt for what he had done. The mother said she had forgiven Hong a long time ago and regretted not being able to take better care of them. Hearing this, Hong began to cry, and even the king was moved by the scene. He declared that he could not punish Hong because the victim had forgiven him long ago, allowing Hong to reincarnate. After hearing this, Hong thanked Shun and the other guardians for their help during the trial before disappearing into the light. Back in the human world, Rin decided to bring Sue as their 49th and final reincarnation, thus fulfilling his deal with the king of hell to be able to reincarnate and be born again. They arrived in hell and saw a large number of demons, starting to fight them to clear a path to the king of hell himself.